Let me see. I've got a new method to see if I can make this poll question go faster. Okay, that worked out a whole lot better. Yes. So I just have to keep it at yes and no answers on the poll question. Okay, good morning. It is me, Dr. Donna. Go ahead and start voting on the poll question. It is the same poll question from yesterday because I neglected, in my excitement, talking about all the things that took place with my daughter, I neglected to post the poll results. So I'll have the same poll question today, and we will actually get to that. On your own, go ahead and inhale and exhale 3 times just to get the mind ready to learn about the amygdala, because that is what we are talking about today. And I neglected to write down my start time. Okay. I teach adults how to hold themselves personally accountable. And why am I doing that? Because it's my divine calling. It's not fun every day, but it is the mission that I am on at this stage in my life. And the benefits of being personally accountable is that you get to access your best every single day in and day out. It is simple, but not easy. And yes, there are over 6.8 billion adults globally not holding themselves personally accountable, but that has nothing to do with you. Good morning, Regina. It has nothing to do with you. You holding yourself personally accountable, and then the others that are around you, is for you. And to follow up, Regina, send me your uncomfortableness when we talked about from the live yesterday, to follow up on that, to assess what makes you uncomfortable about the holding people accountable, that portion that we talked about yesterday. If you could email or message me that today, that would be great. Okay, so what's the point? When you hold yourself personally accountable, you get to become your best. You get to become your best. That's why you do it. So you can have your best day. So your day in and day out is best. That's the benefit of doing it. Plus, you get to use this amazing organ, your brain, which runs everything in your life anyway. So learning how to do it helps you help yourself and those that are around you. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. So today we are talking about the amygdala. And this information is coming from the Cleveland Clinic's website. So the amygdala doing today. Okay, great. Thank you, ma'am. So let me put my eyes on. And so what is the amygdala? The amygdala is a small almond-shaped structure and is part of your limbic system. Your limbic system is located in the brain cerebrum. It's the largest portion of the brain, and it is located under the temporal lobes. And I wish I would have had my other brain t-shirt on so that I could point to it, but I will point it out again tomorrow just so we know where it is. So it's an almond-shaped structure located in the limbic system. Limbic system is in the cerebrum, which is located, it's the largest part of the brain, located under temporal lobes. And your limbic system is, it automatically detects danger. That's what it does. Something happens, the amygdala's like, hold up, it's danger. And it also plays a role in your behavioral and emotional control in your learning. We've just been talking about how it's a fight or flight response. And now you can understand that it's more than just protecting you from the saber-toothed tigers coming to you every single day, all day long. It is also about your behavior, your emotional control, and learning. From this point forward, instead of saying emotions, I will be saying feelings, because emotions has a negative connotation, which could actually trigger your amygdala. And now you can't hear or understand what I'm saying because I said emotional. The poll question is the same today as it was yesterday, so please answer it again. I neglected to go over the answers, so I do have it in my notes on the second page of my notes today to review that. Got a little excited. Okay, so what is the function of the amygdala? What does it do? Everybody knows, or most people know, it's fear is the main feeling that the amygdala is known to control. That's why it's so important to survival. It processes things you see or hear, and it uses that input to learn what's dangerous. So that's very important. It processes what it sees and hears, and then it learns that's dangerous. I heard that. Boom! I heard that sound. What's that noise? Ah! Oh my goodness. And then you look and you go, what the? Ooh, what is that? to use that Cardi B sound. And now it's saying, hey, danger, danger, stranger danger, get away from that. Don't go back over there. No, no, the dark. For me, growing up, I was scared of the dark. Probably because my sister locked me in a closet when I was younger. So anytime it's dark, I'm like, the amygdala is shutting shit down. Like, nope, nope, nope. This is a problem. Because I saw it and I heard it. And that's why people like suspense thrillers and all of that. Because sometimes you just hear it, but you don't know what it is. It's like, whoo, what is that? But that's not a good thing, especially in your day-to-day existence. And if you encounter something similar in the future, the amygdala will cause you to feel that fear again to similar feelings. PTSD, if I smell pine oil, if I hear a Chinook flying overhead, if there's anything that reminds me, of my childhood, here I go again. And it's associated with that. That's why people can use those fears against you sometimes. So if you doom scroll on social media, they're going to take your house. Oh my God. They're getting ready to shut shit down. You're going, oh my God, hold on. What do I do? What do I do? Buy my products. Buy my products and this won't happen. Sign up for my program. Sign up for my program and because it's only while supplies last. That's it. While supplies last. You get, it's only 3 left. It's only 3 left. They did that to my daughter a couple weeks ago. They told her it was only 1 dresser left. We got to IKEA as soon as it opened, and there were 7 on the shelves, and there were 7 on the shelves the night before when she checked. So that is what is happening with the amygdala. But there are some other things, and this is a good part. So research has shown that the amygdala contributes more than just to anxiety and fear. It plays a role in aggression. It plays a role. So we talked about that when someone is being aggressive to you, they're addicted to it because they want that dopamine and that adrenaline boost. So when they come trying to ensue fear on you, it's because they want to be powerful on you. People that were bullied turn into bullies. And now they're going to let a motherfucker know, I wish you would come over here messing with me. So anytime you feel some aggression, that is that person sitting in their amygdala ensuing aggression towards you because of some shit that they didn't work out themselves. That's what's happening. And they're addicted to it. They make them feel powerful. And every time they bully you and they win and you appease them, they're back again. Bigger, better, badder, and bolder, and meaner and more aggressive. I'm going to wake up. Everybody's going to fear me. Ha, 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 ha. Like Dr. Evil. And that's what's happening. And it feels like the more power and control, the more aggressive they become, the more aggressive they become, the more aggressive they become, the more aggressive. And now you're sitting over here. You don't even remember the last time you were using the executive function of your brain because of this person's aggression. So you live in fear. Fear of losing your corporate job. Fear of somebody coming and take your stuff. Because I grew up in the hood. So I'm always not sitting with my back against the door. Because somebody actually came in our house and robbed us at gunpoint. So I'm like, pull through. And hold up. We pulled up in the hood. I got to pull DD from the D out to do this appointment. Because of what took place when I lived in the hood. So this aggression that's taking place. But also, the amygdala has you learning through rewards and punishment. And I like to call it calibration. So you have all your rewards and recognition programs at work, but the people that didn't do their job, and I was a person that would, hey, you don't do your job, progressive discipline, going to progress your ass right on out of here. Parents, oh my goodness, you didn't clean up your room. Let me take your TV cord. I had a friend, her husband, no matter what her daughter did, they just took her TV cord. I was like, y'all got to get some more in your arsenal because this ain't working. The math ain't math, and she's still misbehaving. And she's just like, I'll just watch stuff on my phone. I don't need my television. So it's learning through rewards and calibrations or punishment. It also is responsible for that. If I do good, I'm going to be rewarded. If I do bad, then I'm going to be punished. And now you control people because of the punishment and reward system that you have. So the reprimands and the rewards system, all at work. You have it, you can get a pizza party if you make the company $1 million. And if you lose $1 million, all y'all gonna lose your job. The math don't math. But people are like, we gonna get pizza on Friday. Oh, we gonna get a blanket for Christmas. Yay! This is amazing. And it's being used again as a method of control. So if you think about this tiny little shaped like an almond, little small thing located in the limbic system, and it has everybody running scared and afraid because it's being used against you most of the time by unaccountable people on the daily basis. Now, it also handles using implicit unconscious memory, which allows you to remember how how to do something without remembering how you learned how to do it. So, for example, tying your shoes, riding a bike, driving. So it helps you remember how to do that without you sitting in driver's me. I went to Mumford High School over the summer to learn how to drive. So I'm not sitting there in the car with the two pedals. We had Pontiac Le Manses back then. I'm not driving thinking, oh my God, I'm back in this Pontiac Le Mans again. We just get in the car and we drive. We just get up, put our clothes on, comb our hair, wigs in my case, and we go on about our business. But all of that is the direct result of the amygdala. And then it also helps with feelings that relate to, parenting or caregiving. So your feelings related to caregiving, whether you're an employer and you are taking care of your employees, if you're a parent, if you're a caregiver, it also has to do with that. And I'm going to come back and address that in a moment. And then it connects your feelings to memories. So like I said, if I smell pine oil, I'm back in basic training again, smelling pine oil. And if I am smelling sweets, like, well, for Christmas, they do that cinnamon smell at Trader Joe's and other places all the time. And I walk in and I don't really like that cinnamony pine cone smell when I walk in the store. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to smell that, but it's there. So it helps with that sensories too. And then it also impacts your learned behaviors related to, wait for it, addiction. Learned behaviors related to addictions. And it's not just the substance abuse. It's, oh my goodness, I got to watch sports. This is my favorite show is on. I got to watch this. Oh, I'm addicted to quilting. And so I can, because there are good addictions. I'm addicted to reading. And then there are bad addictions like, oh, this is not going to bode well for me. So all of that is in the amygdala. And I'm going to come back to this part, the parenting and the caregiving, because it's a feeling, because it's so ingrained in who you are. The hardest thing to do is to hold people personally accountable, because the amygdala is saying, but I love you. You're so cute. And look at you. I remember you was a little cute little baby. And now you're my big grown child. And I just can't hold you personally accountable because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. So I'm going to just let you be unaccountable. And I'm going to just keep rescuing you, even though I know it's hurting you, hurting me. But I don't want you to feel bad. So I got to care about you. So you are overriding your natural inclination to care for people when you hold them personally accountable. Because the amygdala is going to say, we got to care about this person. We got to take care of our team members. We got to take care of our troops. We got to take care of our children and our parents and our grandparents. We have to take care of them. You do, but you also have to hold them personally accountable. So now you're going back and forth. Now you're going back and forth because the executive function says, I got to hold them personally accountable. But the amygdala says, but look at how cute they are. Remember when they came and they had a little snot coming out their nose, but they gave you a Mother's Day gift and they said, look, mommy, I just got you. I love you, mommy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, mommy. Let me hug your neck, mommy. And you remember that, but they grown. And it's hard because you get this employee. I had Francesca and dang it, I can't think of his name right now. Shoot, I see his face. So was it Brian? It's not Adam. I can't think of his name. So he was on coke and we didn't know it till he had to get drug tested. But so he was having a moment and he picked a fight with Francesca and they both had to get fired. Francesca was a good employee. She was part-time, permanent, on her way to full-time. And he pushed her at the batch computer and they had a fight. Mark, it was Mark. Thank you, Noah. It was Mark. And so Mark and Francesca both had to get fired because of the union contract and the employee handbook. It said no fighting at work. It didn't matter that he punched her. He hit her first and she punched him back. As soon as she swung back, and it's a natural reaction because I would have been gone too, especially at that age. I definitely would have been gone. So both of them had to get fired, and I felt so bad for her because she was about to get full-time permanent, and I was like, oh, I didn't sleep that night well. Had to go back, suspend both of them, and fire both of them. My amygdala was like, damn. But my executive function said, no workplace violence. And everybody, the rest of the team was pissed. And I had to hire 2 people. And I had to work on the floor while I was hiring 2 people. So that was a hard decision for me to make. But I chose the hard right over the easy wrong. And how many times have you been in that situation and that amygdala talked you into doing the wrong thing because of your feelings? Because of your feelings. You cannot do that. because at the end of the day, if I had to let both of them stay, then that would have been setting a new precedent. And so they would have been beating the shit out of each other every day after that. It would have looked like MMA WrestleMania. It would not have boded well at all. And I know another manager would have been like, yeah, it's no big deal. I'm going to suspend them. I'm going to put them on a step 3 and all this. No. Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance for workplace violence, because it could have gotten, especially already in a hostile work environment. It was the worst distribution center in the doggone region. And it was, the region. It was a terrible place to work. Nobody worked there. Hence, that's why they sent me there, because they didn't give a fuck about my career. So, like Drago, if she dies, she dies. If she fails, she fails. Okay, cool. Whatevs, man. So that's what's happening. So as you think about that, as you go and say, well, why can't I hold people personally accountable? You got to check your amygdala. You got to check your amygdala. So just like the amygdala can get hijacked and now you're sitting there in a fight, flight, freeze, or appease response, your amygdala is saying, well, it ain't that bad. It's not that bad. Just, everybody made mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. But it's just a one-off. It's just a one-off time. I mean, they're learning. They have ADHD. They have ADD. They have that's that autism. Well, she grew up in a household full of addicts. Her mama was a crackhead. Her sister was a hoochie coochie girl and an addict too. So yeah, and then her daddy was a drunk. Her stepfather was a drunk too. So that's why Dr. Donna acted like that. No. That ain't got shit to do with nothing. Personal accountability is I'm going to hold you personally accountable to become your best. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. That's the end. The amygdala is there to help us with fight or flight responses, for us to be empathetic, for us to learn what to do and what not to do. But holding somebody personally accountable, you can't let the amygdala hold you hostage to personal accountability. You cannot let that happen. So how do you stay in the executive function? You stay in the executive function of your brain, which is where you have your working memory, your cognitive flexibility, and your inhibition control. That you stay there by holding yourself personally accountable every day. Every day you are holding yourself to a high standard. Set and maintain high standards is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And when you are focused on your best, you can't be focused on your worst. And you can't be focused on other people's worst too, because best has to be your objective. So when Mark and Francesca had the fight, the best case scenario, even though it felt like the worst case scenario, was to terminate both of them, to send a message. If you fight in this distribution center, you're going to get fired. And now everybody else's amygdala is like, okay, so if you fight, reprimand, punishment, no job. Okay, got it. No fighting at work. Cool. Dollar Days was another program that I put in place, and that was for rewards. If you operate at 85% every day, you got a Frito dollar, and then you can take that money and go shop in the Frito-Lay catalog. And the reason why I had to do that was because the union contract said as long as people were moving and working, I couldn't fire them. I needed everybody working at 85% or better to be profitable and not have to be there all night. So I created that program. It was just $1, but when people start walking in with Adidas tracksuits and coolers and shit like that, everybody magically start working at 85%. So I will find a workaround, and I do know how to empower people to become their best and not have to fire people either. So the point that I'm making with this is, how many times have you let somebody off the hook? How many times? And then how many times have you let the same person off the same hook? The same person off the same hook. And you told yourself, you literally told yourself, you appeased them, and you told yourself, well, it's because my nephew is a recalcitrant at the highest freaking level. And because my sister abandoned him at 1 year old and left him with his father, he had more support than a doggone skyscraper with steel beams in it. And he just spent more of his adult life in jail and juvie than he has free. And everybody made the excuse because his mama left him when he was 1. And I said, well, why I ain't getting a pass because my daddy was a drunk then? If every son needs his mother, don't every daughter need her father? Why is the standard different for me and my daughter? Why is it? Well, because, his mama left him. He dyslexic and they just kept making excuses and making excuses for the same shit. He's a bad thief because he keeps getting caught, which is disgraceful to the family. I'm like, you can't even be a good thief. Your ass keep getting caught. Like, you need to really pick a different profession because you're not good at this. Okay, good thieves go years and years and years and years without getting caught. And every time you break the law, your ass is back in jail. You need to do something different, bruh. And you ain't good in math. Why you keep stealing stuff and you not good in math? Pick a different profession. That's a side, even on some street shit. That's just a side note. The point is this. They have been making excuses. He was born in 1995. He about to be 30 years old. He ain't never worked nowhere just like his mama for a year consecutively. And they just keep making excuses. My sister's 54. She about to be 55 on March 12th. And we ain't still making excuses. She just got to get her shit together. After 55 years, if you ain't got it together, you not getting it together. It's not happening. It is not happening. But the excuses have been made by the other addicts in the family because they understand birds of a feather flock together. So yes, you can make excuses for that person because you feel bad for them. And I just want to know, what does feeling bad have to do with helping somebody help themselves? And sometimes, like they tell us in Al-Anon, you got to let people bottom out. So when you don't let somebody bottom out, they don't learn their lesson. You keep picking them up. You're using your amygdala, or your amygdala is using you to stay in that situation, and nobody's winning. Nobody is winning. So you stay in your executive function and you use your heart when it's time. And your heart is connected because it's feeling. So it's connected to that amygdala. And you're like, oh my God, but they have it so bad. They have it so bad. And I had this conversation with my daughter in regards to my cousin, because 4 years ago, they both were in different situations. And as she was making the decisions that she was making, I started running off all the shit that she didn't have to do in 4 years versus what he didn't have to do in 4 years. And it became clear. Okay, he got to figure the rest of this out. He's grown. And there are now some things that he needs to demonstrate. And so for her, it's let go, but oof, what if he didn't get it all? What if he don't do what he's supposed to do? Then that shit's on him because he's grown. He will be 19 next week. That's on him. And so why do you feel responsible for grown folk? Why? I'm talking about people who can take care of themselves. Why do you feel accountable and responsible for them? Why? And I know why, because it's that parenting and that taking care of other people portion of the amygdala, but it's ruining everybody's life. It's ruining everybody's life. So you're letting this little bitty portion of the amygdala fuck everything up. That's what's happening. And so you don't want to hold them personally accountable, because now you got to go back into the executive function of your brain, and you have to be a hard ass. And as Lorenzo said yesterday, don't nobody like being held personally accountable, and it's negative. And the question is why? Why is it negative? Why? If you're going to it's going to lead you to your best. Why? Because people just want to stay in their comfort zones. They don't want to be held accountable, because then they have to do something. They have to override their amygdala. They have to start being in the executive function of their brain. And it's challenging when your working memory ain't shit. See how it's all connected? So the amygdala is a primary factor, and why it's a challenge to hold other people accountable. Nola got kicked off. She's back in. So you missed what I was saying about your cousin. Okay. The point is this, ladies and gentlemen. If you are going to hold yourself personally accountable on the daily basis, you are going to have to put the amygdala in its place where it needs to be. Now, feelings are going to show up. You can't do anything about that. It's part of your neurological process. However, only a minute. Okay, got it. However, you have some soul searching to do, or some brain searching to do today. Okay, so let's have an open discussion now. What so far have you taken away from what I'm saying? Oh, about my cousin. Yeah, his parents, that's what I said. His parents were good criminals. And yeah, they've never been to jail. They did not pass on the trade to him. Yeah, I forgot about that. But his dad is saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost now. He has a small church on the east side of Detroit. Won't God do it? I am well, Daisy. How are you? You got to let people bottom out. And so people will use their amygdala when they need to bottom out and make you feel bad for making them bottom out. That's why you need to spend 100% of your day in your executive function. In your executive function. Because, yes, in your executive function, you can still have empathy for people. You can still care about people in your executive function. And the reason why you stay in it is because that's where your self-control, your judgment, your decision-making, all of that is located in the frontal lobe. So that's why you stay there. You stay there. You don't go into dangerous places. As soon as you shut that down, danger, danger. Because now you are in this cortisol state and you're not going to make good decisions. You are not. You're going to do fight, flight, freeze, or peace. Well, you're preaching to the choir in terms of overparenting. Okay, well, let the church say amen. And when I used to go to church, they said if you can't say amen, say ouch. Say ouch. So that is what's taking place in the amygdala. It's this little bitty, if you Google it and see a picture of it, you're going to be like, it's like an ingrown toenail. You know, if you got an ingrown toenail, your whole life will hurt. Your whole foot with your body, you just be like, don't say that to me. I got an ingrown toenail. Hey, go get a pedicure. I need some nippers. This thing, the back of my eyes hurt from this small, little, tiny ingrown toenail. That is what's taking place. And because we don't study the brain enough to know the functionality of it, this is happening. Be well. This is happening independently. People don't even know that the amygdala is running the show. That's like a toddler. Imagine if a 3-year-old was running your household. Imagine. They'd be like, what the hell would it pull up on? 2.5-year-old walking around. No, stop, Binky. Making decisions and everything. Boss baby. I think that's the name of the movie. So imagine that. It's a little bitty tiny thing. You got all these grown folks walking around and this toddler is just running shit. That is what's happening to you. So that is why you need to stay in the executive function. And how you do that is you hold yourself personally accountable to best. So even your most, and they tell us in Al-Anon, sit on your hands. Don't make a decision. If you find yourself having an emotional moment of feeling and gabbas are gabbing, if you have any mental illness, sit or literally take your hands. Everybody do like this right now. Sit on your hands. Sit on your hands. Do this. Now, what can you do? You can't call nobody. You can't walk nowhere. You can't do anything at all, but just sit there. And it's kind of painful, especially if you packing a lot on the bottom side. Your hands might be hurting by now. If you a little fluffy on the bottom, now you're sitting here. Your arms are, your wrists kind of hurt. So now you back in the moment, sitting on your hands. So you're like, uh-oh, this hurts. So now you can't be worried about somebody else because now you are in your own situation. And that's long enough for you. Good morning, Lola. It's long enough for you to get back into the present moment. Look down at your feet. They say be where your feet are. So sit on your hands and look at your feet. And now you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. What the heck? It's going to give you enough time to see what's going on before you start making some dumbass decisions. Let me see what Nola said. I am seeing little him. So I am talking to little him when he was small, and I got to see him and treat him as an adult. That's why I need to distance so I can allow the transition to happen for me in my head. Exactly. That is what's taking place. So he was adorable when they first moved here. He was little and cute. They were the same size. And now he is 6'7", 210 pounds with a goatee. But you can still see that little bitty tail. So I said, hey, little baby, look at mommy, little. I just love you so much. I love you so much. Yes, mommy, mama, dada, uncle, auntie, Asama. No, you have to see them for who they is currently in today's time. You know how when you're looking at something and they talk about the dollars and they say, well, in today's dollars, that would be, okay, in today's time, they is an adult. Some of my decisions are made unconsciously, almost a knee-jerk reaction, certainly not thinking in my feelings. Yes. So that's what's happening. Once you get in once you shut down that executive function of the brain, you done. Stick a fork in you because you're done. And now You are not going to make and then right decisions for you. And that's about inhibition control as well, which is in the executive function. When you are responding instead of reacting, you don't do things and you don't say things that you are going to regret. But as soon as you in your feelings, here you go, doing some dumb shit. And now you're like, oh my God. And sometimes you can recover quickly, and sometimes you spend the rest of your life paying for that knee-jerk reaction, that in the moment, pow! Next thing you know, it could be severe. It could definitely be severe. So that is what's taking place for you. I'd still like for you, Regina, to send a summation now that you have even more information for it, as my daughter is understanding. And it's hard because my daughter was adorable and cute. And she's still little and adorable, but she was littler than she is now. So she used to get away with shit. People was on my ass. How you gonna do that to her? How you gonna do that? Why you so mean to her? Why you so... Like this the devil spawn right here. When y'all ain't here, this I want to drop her ass off at the fire station sometimes. That's why she was a baby Hulk walking around. Like, listen, if you go, anyway, I digress. The point is this. Yes, it is challenging, but you are doing it for their benefit. The best. When you start making best the standard, then you stop making it acceptable to not be your best. I told my daughter, she has always had 2 rooms in her own bathroom her entire life, the entire time. And I told her I used to have to sleep in the bed with my sister, and my sister peed in the bed. It ain't nothing like having to sleep with somebody that pee in the bed. Let me tell you, that's a whole nother, and I'm a germaphobe. So, them was a long kindergarten through 5th grade, man. I'm telling you, it was a mess. I had one jacket, had to catch the city bus and all of that. So I was lucky to get out of half them the majority of them situations unscathed because of where I started. And so I told her, you started at a different point. So I'm not making your life simpler. I'm raising the damn standard. You have your own rooms, your 2 different wardrobes and all of that. So the standard for you ain't where it was for me. The standard is up here. And so I raised it. And for anybody that doesn't understand what's taking place and you have privilege, read The Price of Privilege for your children, even if they're grown, because you can still do something about it. And so she had to clean. She'd been cleaning up her room and making up her bed since she was 4 years old. The rule was you take all these toys out. She had one of those big rubber tub bins, and she take all that stuff out in her multi-purpose room. And before she went to bed, all that shit had to fit in the tub. And anything that didn't fit in the tub, if somebody brought her a new toy, okay, which one of these toys you're not keeping? Because if it don't fit in this tub, then you can't have it. Because they would just keep buying herself. Oh, we went traveling. We got this. Okay, it don't fit in the tub. Then she got to give something away. So she had all the Martin Luther Kings. She might have been out of school, but it was a day of service. She was somewhere with me at Frito-Lay doing something, books, all kind of stuff. She had to do the Susan G. Komen races with us, all kind of things. Sit there with her stuff and say, which one are you getting ready to donate to a kid who needs this because you're no longer using it? All those things, because she's the only child. So my only child. She could have grew up and been a horrible, terrible, mean person. But from day one, I was like, no, we're not doing that. And was it challenging? Yes. I mean, it's like harming yourself. She was my child. But now, if I drop dead right now, coronary infarction on this live, she can still maintain the current lifestyle that we have. She'll be a little bit sad, but it's 10,500 some videos of me. She knows the mission. And she got to keep on keeping on. So that's what you have to understand. Can this person survive if I'm gone? Can they? And if they can't, shame on you. Shame on you if they need you to survive. I need you to survive. No, they should need you to survive. They need themselves and dependence on a higher power if they choose to do that. But you're not. And remember, anybody that saw Ray's mama said, don't you let nobody turn you into a cripple, Ray. And she was talking about the drugs, not the fact that he couldn't see. So are you turning them into a person that can't be high functioning by not holding them personally accountable? What's up with that? Is it a challenge? Yeah. So what? Nothing worth having is ever easy. Why are you making it simpler for them? Why are you doing that? For anybody, employee, employer, friend, foe, I don't know, but no, that's got to go. You can't continue to live your life like that. That is why everybody talks about how fucked up the world is. Whose fault is that? If you are everybody that lets some shit in their community go unaccounted for is part of the problem. But it's easier to say, yeah, they fucked up over there, but we good. No, you're not. No one is good. No one is good because no one is holding themselves and everybody around them personally accountable. And it's because you are letting the amygdala run shit. So just picture a toddler getting in a Ford F-250 supercharged driving somewhere. Little feet can't fit the doggone pedals. It's just steering wheel all the way up here. They running into all kind of shit. And they're going to be in control of money and decision making? No. So why would you let this little bitty amygdala run shit? Because that's what's actually happening right now. Scroll through social media today, turn on the news today, and watch how you feel. So here's what I want you to do. I want you today to listen to something tranquil, some waterfalls or something peaceful. If you meditate, do some yoga, and do that for 15 to 30 minutes. And then turn the television on, CNN, Fox, local news, and then scroll through social media and see how you feel. And only do that for 5 minutes. See how you feel. See how you feel. So when you are in control of everything, you're going to woosah and have oxytocin and be at peace. And you're going to turn all that other stuff on. And now you're going to have dopamine and adrenaline and serotonin and all these other things. And it's going to feel like this. So when you are calm and peaceful, and do it and send me a message and tell me how it went. That's executive function. Everything is and then we're going to go in a downward dog. And now we're going to go in a chair pose. Let's do a little tree. And then we're just going to lay in child's pose. Let's get on our back and do happy baby, rocking back and forth. And then you're going to hear, you ain't going to believe the executive function, and they shutting down the border. And then this, and hey, and now you're going to be trying to figure out why you can't get nothing done. You just saw it. When you are holding yourself personally accountable, woosah. And when you're not, oh shit. And that's taking place all day long. Now imagine if everywhere you went, hey, welcome to Starbucks this morning. How may I serve you? You went to the bank. Good morning. How are you today? Will you be making a deposit or a withdrawal? You send your children to school. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be learning about art, math, and science. Now, they're cutting our budget. We ain't got but one damn book. Y'all gonna have to share. Traffic. Everybody's following the rules of the road and the flow of traffic, and people actually put their blinkers on and give you time to give them a space cushion so that they can change lanes properly. That's the executive function of the brain. But what's actually happening? Bitch, move! I wish you would! You better get out of my way! You ain't getting in front of me! Construction zone! No! Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Then you got a month of that. That's what's actually taking place. And the reason why is because people don't have enough cognition in their working memory to make the switch. No new neural pathways wired to personal accountability. So it is fight or fight, freeze or appease. I'm going to get you before you get me. No, I'm not going to hold you personally accountable because I had to protect you. From who? Your own thoughts. Who you protecting them from? Another unaccountable motherfucker. That's who you protecting them from. Instead of saying you ain't going to be another unaccountable motherfucker walking around. That's not what's going to happen. I told my daughter's teachers every year, you're not going to have no problems out of her. And if you do, call me. But we not going to have no problems out of you because I will be back up here for everybody. Okay? Everybody going to get held personally accountable. That's how it goes. And when she cut the fool, I went up there and took care of business. And when they cut the fool, I went up there and took care of business. All from the principal down to the damn teachers. I don't care. We all gonna be personally accountable up and through this motherfucker, or we gonna have problems with me. We gonna have problems. And you need to be like that. And the question is, people are like, well, the teachers, and I don't know, the teachers, well, the principal, the board. Man, my daughter went all the way to the Nevada, the Nevada homeschool board, I forgot what it's called, lobbying to keep the school there. We're not gonna have no problems. We're not. It might be short term, but it's not gonna be long term. And that's how you have to be for the best case scenario. You have to be that way for the best case scenario. So get your ass out your amygdala. Stop living in it. Go back to the executive function of your brain and use the amygdala for what it was designed to do. And you can do that in the executive function of your brain, in the frontal lobe. Stop letting toddlers create cortisol moments for you and hijack your amygdala and then say, I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry. I saw you. I didn't give you a picture, mommy. I'm sorry. No, don't be mad at me, mommy. Don't be mad at me. That's what's happening. Everybody made mistakes. Everybody made mistakes. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. Okay, so hear that voice in your head. And when you hear that and see that, you're not going to let nobody use your amygdala against you. Okay, we got it? We good? All right, so now I'm making a switch because it's 40 minutes in. The word of the day, without looking it up. I'm going to spell it. I'm going to say it twice and I'm going to spell it. And then I'm going to give you your options. And Anola, you already have been exposed to this because it's a word of the day from Toastmasters. Higgledy-piggledy. Higgledy-piggledy. And it is spelled Higgledy hyphen Piggledy. I'm going to spell it slower. Higgledy-piggledy. Higgledy hyphen Piggledy. Higgledy-piggledy. And does it mean disorder or order? Does it mean disorder or order? Sound like disordered me, disordered. Nola, are you there? Did you get kicked out? Order. Okay, in the spirit of staying on time. It actually means disorder, I believe. Been a minute on that one. Yes, it is disorder. So it is in confusion or disorder. So you can have a higgledy-piggledy conversation with folks today. Because when Robin did it at Toastmasters, I was like, higgledy-piggledy, this is a real word? Are you serious? But it actually is a real word and it means disorder. Yes, and how you can use it in a sentence is the clothes are all higgledy-piggledy on your dresser. Your clothes are all higgledy-piggledy on your dresser. Okay? So it means disorder. And now you have a sentence and you can use that for people. When the meeting is just out of disorder. This is a higgledy-piggledy meeting for sure. For real, for real. Okay, so now we're getting ready to do math. We're doing order of operations. Go ahead and access your writing utensil and your piece of paper so that you can be ready. The mouse running up the clock. Oh, like hickory dickory dock, the mouse running up the clock strike one. I forgot the rest of that. Okay, so get your math out, get your paper and writing utensil out. We are doing order of operations today. Yay! Order of operations helps with your working memory. Your working memory. I'm working on my memory. I'm going to give you the problem twice, and then you're going to have 1 minute to solve it. Here is the problem, and it is under the simplified category in mathematicas. All right, it is 15 minus parentheses 6 plus 3 parenthesis times 4. So 15 minus open parentheses 6 plus 3 close parentheses times 4. 15 minus open parentheses 6 plus 3 close parentheses times 4. You now have 1 minute to solve your problem. Thirty seconds. 50 seconds. And time. Okay. So the answer is minus 21. Your PIMBUS was to do the parentheses first. So 6 plus 3 is 9. And then next in order of operations was multiplication. 9 times 4 is 36. And then finally, 15 minus 36 is negative 21. Sometimes you have to start in the middle in order to be able to solve your problem. Sometimes you have to start in the middle and work your way out and then back in order to start to solve your problem. Now, the reason why order of operations is important, and I will continue to reiterate this, is because when you have multiple things that you need to do in order to solve a problem, it's okay, Regina, we reserve the right to get better every single day. And that's not me pacifying you, that when you learn from your mistakes, you actually learn what didn't work. And now you can use that information going forward. Yes, now you can use that information going forward to solve your problems going forward. So because when you learn how to use PEMDAS, when you learn how to use it, then you will be able to naturally use it to solve all of your problems. You will be able to use it because you will be looking at what needs to go first. That's the whole point. You are training the neural pathways in your brain from problem solving. What do I need to look at first in order to solve this problem? Because that's how you get to the solution. And that is the purpose of doing it. And if you find yourself weak in problem solving, Khan Academy is on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. Go ahead to Khan Academy. They have math all the way up and courses all the way up until college. It's a great organization. My daughter used it when she was in school and recently had to go back to help her in her business, but it definitely is good. Duolingo has some more simpler math, but both of them have it. I'm sure there are other applications out there, but those are the ones that I know we've used and they actually work. That is the problem solving way to solve your problems. And I know there are plenty of books on problem solving, and I know there are plenty of blogs. There are probably problem solving podcasts, but neurologically, this is the simplest way for you to learn how to solve your problems in your day to day, in your working memory, things that you come in contact with every day. Those bigger problem solvers are like, well, how do you solve world hunger? And how do you solve the debt crisis in America? Now, that's big shit. I'm literally talking about how to navigate through your day. And if they could solve it, shit would have been solved by now. Because they're not using their working memory or their executive function of their brain either. And they're emotionalizing over it as well, because they are living in hijacked amygdala states with toddlers running around trying to fix shit that toddlers shouldn't even have access to. Okay, now I'm going to post the results of the poll question. In the poll. And here are the results. Do you like taking risk? 60% of you said yes, 40% of you said no. Answer, please explain your answers. I actually like taking risk because I want to see if I can do it. And if I can't, I learn what to do and what not to do. But I get bored easily because of how my brain works. I will get very bored. So I would just go take a risk. Not being risky, because there is a difference between being risky. When you're risky, you're going to cause harm to yourself and potentially others. When you're taking a risk, you're going to challenge yourself and you're going to grow. So that is the difference. And I've had to explain it, and I had explained that in my book as well. Taking a risk is not the same as being risky. That's the Dr. Donna quote. I learn better from mistakes. One of the things I have learned since being personally accountable is that I'm more fearful than I thought. That's an honest assessment. I don't like taking risks because they make me feel uncomfortable. I don't like change or new things. I do them though because I know it will help me grow. However, I don't like it. And that's the conundrum for you, Nola. So Nola doesn't like doing the exact same thing. So she hates it if we have an appointment close to our house or near our neighborhood because she feels like she wants to go further away. So she doesn't want to do the same thing every day, but then she doesn't want to take risk either. So it's interesting how it's like, But I don't want to go. I couldn't have a job because then I have to drive to the same place and park in the same parking spot and go do the same thing. That would drive me crazy. And we even had a discussion the other day that if we have to do a 9-drawer dresser, she doesn't want to do it because it's the same over and over. But she could put together three-drawer nightstands and it would still be 9 drawers because it will be finished and it could move. But the monotony, by the time she gets to the 4th or 5th drawer of putting the rails on, because some rails I can't put on because they're the slidey ones, and we'll get to that 5th or 6th drawer and now she is over it. I'm like, I'm done. So if we have to put together 50 Billy bookcases, it's not going to be a good appointment. But if it's 50 different things at an appointment, no problem. So it is an interesting dynamic. But risk taking. And so, Regina, for you, a risk a day keeps the fear away. So the more risk you take, the less fears you intake or you take in. So think of it this way. Every time you take a risk, you're usually, or you should be, in your executive function because this is something you never done before. So you got to be there, you got to be present, and you have to do that. And what you're training your brain to do is to stay in the executive function. Because if you're fearful, now you're not in the executive function and you are now sitting in a hijacked amygdala state, fight, flight, freeze, or appease, but there's no saber-toothed tiger coming after you. So when you take small risk, you could take a risk and eat a different menu item. Go to your favorite restaurant and eat something different. Even if it's nasty, you're like, okay, I don't like that, but now I know. If you go to the store, take a different route to the store. Wear something different. These clothes that people say for a special occasion, wear an evening gown to the grocery store and just see what happens. Just put a tuxedo and just go to the store. Go now, don't pump gas. You don't want to mess up your good clothes, but just go somewhere where that isn't the attire and just be in there. Like, what in the world is he doing with a tuxedo on in Del Taco? He is standing in McDonald's line with this tux and tails and top hat on, looking like the Monopoly man. What is going on here? But it is the risk that you take. When I was a public speaker, I used to always put on some outfit that technically, and not something inappropriate with my stuff all showing and my hoo-ha out, not that, but just this other thing to say, yes, I'm here talking about leadership. Yes, I'm here talking about being strategic. And now they do it. The basketball coaches are doing it. But back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, no, that wasn't the norm. That was clearly not what people were doing at that time. You had to have your suit and you had to have on. And then at one point, you couldn't even speak with a pantsuit on. It was that bad. I don't know why, but it just was. So take these risks every single day so that you are increasing your brain's ability to stay in the executive function and you're minimizing your fear. Fear is going to show up. It is. I still have fear. I told you, every time I push this button before I go live, I'm like, whew, what is going to happen today? So it's not there. Susan Jeffers wrote a great book. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I highly recommend it. I have no attachment or affiliation with her whatsoever. It's just a good book. I have to say that so it won't seem like I'm promoting somebody's stuff because I didn't check that on the live when I first started. But the point is, fear is there to protect you. It is awareness. This didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, if you touched the stove, your parents or some older person said, don't touch that, it's hot. If you touched it and burned your hand, you say, ooh, that's hot. I'm not going to do that anymore. So it is to learn, for you to use it to learn to stay away from danger or protect yourself from danger. But it is not being used in that capacity in today's society. And as a result, very few people are operating their executive function on a day-to-day basis, and that's the problem. That's why we have so many issues in the world, because everybody is sitting there making all of these emotional decisions, hoping that somebody rational is going to come and rescue them from themselves, and that bus is not coming. The personal accountability bus is not coming, okay? You just have to hold yourself personally accountable on your path as you grow through life where you currently are. Okay, so that's that. What did you learn today? Because we're coming around third. Higgledy-piggledy is confusion or disorder. Got it. Doo-doo. That is correct. And when you think of risk, so small risk daily is reasonable. Thank you. So when you think of risk taking, unaccountable people have made risk seem like a bad thing. Well, you don't want to, if you're investing, you don't want to have high risk. You want to have a balanced portfolio. And they've turned risk into this very bad, fearful word. So you won't do it. But they keep you in fear as well. Okay. It definitely is double speak and double think for sure. However, now that you have this new information, you are literally saying every time I take this risk, I'm becoming stronger. I'm increasing the strength of my executive function, and I'm decreasing the power of my fake or false positives in my amygdala state of mind. That is what you're doing. So you're doing it for yourself. You can even do something as simple as eat with your non-dominant hand. Anything. If you have coffee, you can change your coffee order, change your tea order. Those small things every day over time. Wake up a little bit earlier, sleep in late, tell people no. These are all things that impact your ability to stand up for yourself. Yes, the amygdala is not always negative, but it is always making you emotional. It is having you tap into your feelings. So if you are and that's why that feelings PDF is so important, that I started using with my daughter so she could start feeling and processing her feelings because of her ADD. You know, people with ADD is like, yeah, man, what else? So it allows you to say, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what am I going to do about it? So when you start feeling something, to stay in the executive function of your brain, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what am I going to do about it? It's an indicator. And when you use that, you're going to find out if it actually is a saber-toothed tiger coming at you from a fear perspective, or is it a false positive? And now you can do something about it. But if you just say, oh my God, I'm so scared. Now you're not even assessing if it's an actual threat, if it's actually real. And the thing that I took away from my learning this morning, thank you, Cleveland Clinic, it's not a lot of information on the amygdala either. So I know I said we're going to be going over the different parts of it, but even that information isn't readily available. Go figure. But it's this, because I've been trying to understand why is it so difficult for adults to hold other adults accountable, and nicely written in there, this amygdala, because everybody just talks about the fear component of it, is that parenting caregiving. That parenting caregiving is overriding your ability to hold other people personally accountable that you like. Now, if you don't like somebody, you don't care. You gonna lose your job because I don't like you. I'm getting divorced from you and I'm taking all your shit. You owe me. You have no problem doing that because you are not operating in that parenting caregiving. You are operating in fight mode. So you still in the amygdala, you just ready to fight. And at that point, you don't care what happens. And you are not using your inhibition control in the executive function of your brain that says don't do anything or say anything that you're going to regret. All of that is gone. But that holding the people that you like personally accountable is the problem. Yes. Okay. Speakers normally the risk to rewards, they never tie it to mental development or development. Right. It isn't tied to that. Not at all. I think that's what you're saying, is that the two are not connected. And everything is connected. And so obviously I would have liked for neuroscientists and everybody that's studying the brain to have more information available, because I could have just made it better, made it cheaper. But this connection is not occurring. So people don't understand that in their daily decisions and everything that they do is happening neurologically first, and then it's happening. So you're looking at the behavior, but you got to ask yourself, why are they behaving? And when they do study the brain, they are studying mental illness, sociopaths, and things that are negatively impacting the brain, but not the group, the rest of the majority of the population, on how to use this to create a best outcome. That's not occurring. It's all every time and that's why when I do my own research, I have to go, okay, take that part out about the sociopath. What? Let me look at the facts of this part of the brain. And now how do we take that information and use it to become best? How do we get rid of that recipe and make a new recipe for success? Because people don't wake up believing that they could actually have their best life every day if it's not attached to money rewards. If the reward is not money, why would I do it? Why would I do it if there's no money attached? If there's no purchase attached to it, I'm not going to get an A. I'm not going to get a trophy. Why would I do that? Like, why would I hold myself personally accountable, Dr. Donna? You just going to give me a certificate after a 30-day challenge and that's it. Like, that makes no sense because everybody is in the amygdala. YouTube got to get an edit function. Yeah. Yes. You talk about for your comments. And it's getting there because YouTube was first and now they're trying to catch up to the other social media apps. So even lives are different than they were before. Parenting, caregiving, and survival skills that people needed when they were real saber-toothed tigers. Yes, when there are real saber-toothed tigers, right? But other than that, and so everybody is operating from an amygdala state. Everybody is. And once you start to see that, now you can stay in the executive function of your brain and you cannot react. You can respond. You can really start to assess, why are they doing that? Let me see, because the feeling is going to be there. That's why I'm saying today, spend time, take your personal accountability time. If you want to listen to some jazz and classical music, go outside and look at the sky and just relax. And then go and doom scroll. Go look at something on television, the news or something else. Listen to talk radio. And what you're going to find is the amygdala state feels different than the executive function and the oxytocin. It totally feels different. Parenting, caregiving, survival skills that people needed when they were real. I saw that. Okay. I thought something else popped up. Okay. So do we understand what I'm saying? Because I want you to get this because this is extremely important to holding other people personally accountable. It is simpler for you to hear me and then for you to start doing what I'm saying. But the number one principle to real leadership is hold yourself and others personally accountable because that's going to impact what you're doing. And when you love, like, and care genuinely for someone, you're going to go into that parenting, caregiving mode and you're not going to hold them personally accountable. And that's where the problems lie. And they're just going to you're not going to develop their skills. You're not going to ensure that they become their best. And you're just going to coddle them and care, I love you, let me do everything for you. And in the end, all you're doing is declawing them and making them a weak person that consistently has to depend on you. That's what's actually taking place. So don't do that. Stay in the executive function of your brain. Stay in the frontal lobe. And do not allow your amygdala to be hijacked. Do not allow your caregiving to turn it into something that's a weapon that's being used against you. If you find yourself in an amygdala state, sit on your hands, look at your feet, ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And what am I getting ready to do about it? But do not allow people who don't even know that they're actually doing this to impact your ability to be successful, to impact your ability to be at peace and be your best every single day, day in and day out. The amygdala is small. It's sitting there in the limbic system, in the cerebrum, right under the doggone, where is it at? I forget, the temporal lobes, because I don't have my other brain shirt on. So I'm looking at this brain shirt trying to point, and that's not going to work because this brain is just lifting weights and sweating. It's got some sweat equity going on. So that's basically it for today. That is my summation. Go ahead and do the 15 minutes or more of peace and then recognize it. And the reason why you're doing that is so that when you have this feeling of fear of a hijacked amygdala, very much emotionalized, now you can go, uh-oh, somebody trying to hijack my amygdala. Uh-oh, this person is tapping into my parenting and caregiving. That's what this situation is. When it's time to hold somebody personally accountable and they're grown and you go, but they're so cute. No, I will not be trapped. I'm looking at my 6-year-old cousin, my 11-year-old cousin instead of my 19-year-old cousin. I'm looking at my 5-year-old daughter instead of, I'm looking at the person that I fell in love with. That's not what's happening. Best is the objective. Best is the objective always. Best is the objective. And you have to do what's best. And that's the hard right over the easy wrong sometimes. That is the hard right. Me firing Francesca and Mark set the standard. Do not fight in this workplace. You will lose your job. I don't care how nice you are. And then the final thing too is nice people get away with more because you like them. Because it feels like you're being mean to the nice person. The nice person is there, and how can I be mean? Personal accountability is not being mean. It's saying we do what we have to get the best outcome. That's what's actually taking place. So, and Lorenzo said yesterday, holding people personally accountable means that you're mean. Who said that? Why? Why? Because unaccountable people don't want to be held accountable, so they made this thing negative. They made it bad. Why would you do it? So there you go, being mean, and you gonna fire both of them. Yeah, I am. They signed the employee handbook and a contract, so it was right there. Because it's best case scenario. And sometimes best case scenario means people get fired. Sometimes best case scenario means people bottom out. Sometimes best case scenario means you no longer talk to any of your family and friends from your past, because that's best case scenario for you, for your own peace. Because would you rather keep having those people there and everybody is in this hijacked amygdala state, or would you rather create an oxytocin personal accountability best case scenario moment for everybody? Because that's what's available on the menu. Personal accountability and personal unaccountability. Shit show palooza or peace palooza all day long. Which one would you rather have? So yeah, I will pop the fuck off for 15 minutes in order to have peace in my house for the rest of my life. That's what I will do by any means necessary. I'm going to get rid of the unaccountable shit that's around me, because then it's done. I don't have my family calling me. I don't go to stupid ass holiday dinners with the same fucking menu that we had for 30, 40 fucking years. I don't have to do that no more. I'm good. I don't never want dressing. I don't never want turkey, gravy, cranberry sauce. I'm good. I don't never like, you know what? Right now, I sure would like some of my mama's dressing. No, I don't. I ain't had a craving. Don't want it. It was there the last 3 Christmases. Like, man, can we have something else? I've been eating this since I was a kid. I'm 40 something years, but for 4 decades, this same damn meal. I don't want this no more. But because of their fixed mindset, this is what we got to eat. This is what we got to eat. I don't want no more collard greens. I don't care if you put mushrooms, turnips, and collard greens with smoked turkey. I'm good. I'm doing steamed kale now. I'm off that. Don't want it no more. Had enough of it. I'm good. No, I don't want another sweet potato pie. I'm good. Nope, I'm good. My aunt's peach cobbler was probably the only thing that I miss, and that's it. Everything, because she didn't make it enough, and it's so good the pan be gone. But that's about it, because it was a rarity, and I didn't have it my whole life. I didn't spend all the holidays with her because that was my stepfather's sister. So my point in this, ladies and gentlemen, is do the exercise, do the peace, do the amygdala hijacking, so now you can feel it, and now you can decide when you're going to engage in it and not. But you have to stay in the executive function of your brain. You have to hold the people that you love personally accountable the most, because those are the ones that are stopping everybody from becoming their best. That's the only way that this is going to work, is that everybody in their community is holding everybody in their community is personally accountable, and you're not letting them be unaccountable. It's not get away with it. It's you're letting them be unaccountable. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you let them be unaccountable, then you are personally unaccountable too, because you know better. And the fact that it's neurological means that everybody can do something about it. It has nothing to do with your upbringing, socioeconomic status, or any of that. It's neurological. They are staying in the limbic system in their brain, and they are operating from that. And best is coming in the frontal lobe in the executive function. Does anybody else have anything else for me before we go? Going once, going twice. And it flickered, but we're good. Okay. You all go off and do the things that I said. Regina, please send me that email once you get more revelation and understanding. You can send it with the rest of your items for today. I will be back, God willing, higher power in the universe tomorrow. Same time, same place, different t-shirt. Y'all have a great day. Take care.